This is the Raising Karter podcast, and I am your host, Ramon Weatherall Sr., and I want to give a shout out to the unsung heroes of the family. And if you know me and if you know this podcast, who I'm talking about all the dads out there. All the dads, the unsung heroes. Not the superstars, not the divas, the guys that do the dirty work. The Ben Wallaces of the family, the Draymond Greens of the family, the guys that are, for the most part, unappreciated. You dads, this podcast and this episode, this episode especially is for you. I want to salute to all the dads out there that are working overtime to get their kids what they want for Christmas. To make the house happy, because a lot of times mothers take on this persona around Christmas that they want to get their kids everything they want. And you know who got to go out there and make it happen? A lot of times, you. You got to make it happen. You got to go out there and get Nintendo Switches and Xboxes and PlayStations and bikes and doll houses and then whatever it takes. But what do you get? The big piece of chicken? What do you get? Thanks? Well, I'm telling you thanks. I'm telling you thanks. Because some dads don't even get that. Some dads don't even get that. I'm telling you thanks for doing what you do, because you know what? You don't have to do it. My grandfather told my father, I ain't got to do nothing for you. Looked him dead in the eye and told him, I ain't got to do nothing for you. So, for all the wives and girlfriends and baby mamas who aren't appreciative of you, dad, or if you feel that way, this is one thing that people and women need to understand. If a man feels a certain way, please don't tell him that he's wrong for feeling that. If he feels that way, it's something going on. If you feel a way, if a woman feels a certain way, you damn well better listen. So why is it when a man feels a certain way, oh, prove it? Or why do you feel that way? That's not true. No. If a man feels a certain way, if he feels like he's not being appreciated, if he feels like he's not being celebrated, then he's not. He's not being celebrated or appreciated to the level that he wants to be. Women want attention. Men want respect. And respect means that you're appreciative of what he does. Now, if he's not doing enough for you, then maybe you need to find a different man, if you can. But he's going out there, busting his butt, working overtime, doing everything he can. Give the man some respect. Give the man some appreciation. And that's what I'm doing right now for all the dads out there. This podcast, this episode is specifically for you, telling you that you are phenomenal. You're respectable, honorable. You're an awesome dad. When my 3-year-old daughter tells me that I'm a good dad, a great dad, that makes me feel good, man. That makes me feel great. Even though she might just be saying that because she got what she wanted. So what? So what? I don't care. I love it. If you haven't called your dad. If you're a young man and you watching this podcast and you haven't told your dad how much he means to you, do it. Call the man up. Tell him, hey, Dad, man, I appreciate, I love you. I appreciate everything you're doing, you've done, and still doing. Man, I wouldn't be here without you. Literally, you wouldn't be here without him. So make it clear, make it known to him. We need to hear that too. Dads need to hear that. You care about them, you love them. Dads need to hear that too. Or you think your mom is the only person women are the only person who needs to hear that, you're great, I love you. No. Fathers need to hear that too. And that's what this episode is all about. Telling dads, if you on your job, if you've been if you on your job or not. You know it. You know it. And if nobody else is telling you this, I'm telling you. I'm telling you that you are awesome, great, phenomenal, respectable, just a hell of a guy. And we need more dads like this. Is the last episode of this season of this year. And this podcast is specifically directed men, young men who want to be men. And if you're not a father already, if you want to be a father, if you don't have a father in your life, this podcast is here for you, man. This podcast is for you. This podcast is for men. It's for fathers, sons, who want to come somewhere and hear about the issues, the topics. I'm not saying I know everything. Believe me, I don't. But I do know one thing, that there was no other place where anyone was talking about stuff like this. And I needed it. Sometimes the thing you need, you have to be for you and other people. I'm going to say it again. Sometimes the thing that you need, you have to be it for you and for other people. Once again, dads, you are important. More important than you'll ever know. But hopefully with this podcast, as we go on in episode, I can help you see just how important you are. But don't ever let anybody downplay or overlook your importance, especially when it comes to your son. There's nobody on this earth more important than you when it comes to him. And that's why this podcast was created. And that's why we do what we do. So have a great new year. However you want to celebrate it, be safe. And the Raising Karter podcast will be back at the first of the year with new episodes, new topics, representing dads, representing sons, and representing men that want to be men and want to be the best at the most important job that they have, is being a man. And if you're a father, being a father. And I'm out. Peace.